Welcome back to Star Wars Escape Pod and our 15th episode of Lightspeed. Bringing you Star Wars news and headlines in under 15 minutes. This is going to be a good one because any of you guys who are interested in Star Wars books have a lot to look forward to. New books starring Luke, Lando, Obi Wan, and Anakin, and more have been revealed as of this today. This very exclusive article from StarWars.com. And I'm going to read it out to you guys. StarWars.com is thrilled to reveal 4 new books featuring never-betold tales from across the Star Wars saga. Star Wars Shadow of the Sith, a novel from author Adam Christopher, takes place after Star Wars Return of the Jedi and finds Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian on a mission to locate Exegol. The novel Star Wars Brotherhood by Mike Shen follows Obi Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker amidst the chaos of the Clone Wars and Skywalker's rise to Jedi Knight. Star Wars Stories of Jedi and Sith, a new middle-grade anthology, features adventures from 10 acclaimed authors, and the young adult novel Star Wars Padawan by Kirsten White depicts Obi-Wan in his early days as a student of Qui-Gon Jinn. Check out the official synopsis and release dates for all below. So, Star Wars Shadow of the Sith, cover is not final, by Adam Christopher. Release date is set for June 28th, 2022 and is available for pre-order now. Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian return in this essential novel set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. The Empire is dead, nearly 2 decades on from the Battle of Endor. The tattered remnants of Palpatine's forces have fled the farthest reaches of the galaxy. But for the heroes of the New Republic, danger and loss are ever-present companions, even in this newly forged era of peace. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker is haunted by visions of the dark side, foretelling an ominous secret growing somewhere in the depths of space, on the dead world called Exegol. The disturbance in the Force is undeniable, and Luke's worst fears are confirmed when his old friend Lando Calrissian comes to him with reports of a new Sith menace. After his daughter was stolen from his arms, Lando searched the stars for any trace of his lost child, but every new rumor only led to dead ends and fading hopes until he crossed paths with Ochi of Bestoon, a Sith assassin tasked with kidnapping a young girl. Ochi's true motives remain shrouded to Luke and Lando, for on a junkyard moon, a mysterious envoy of the Sith Eternal has bequeathed a sacred blade to the assassin, promising that it will give him answers to the questions that have haunted him ever since the Empire fell. In exchange, he must complete a final mission, return to Exegol with the key to the Sith's glorious rebirth, the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself, Rey. As Ochi hunts Rey and her parents to the edge of the galaxy, Luke and Lando race into the mystery of the Sith's lingering shadow and aid a young family running for their lives. This book sounds really, really cool because we don't have a lot of stories that take place between episodes 6 and 7. And amongst us viewers and the audience, I mean, there's a lot about Rey and her family and the whole Darth Sidious lineage and Snoke and all that stuff, along with the Lando story and his daughter. And there's so much untold, not to mention there is absolutely 0 stories or next to none about Luke Skywalker between episode 6 and 7. I mean, what we saw in The Mandalorian was pretty much the biggest thing that is Luke Skywalker after episode 6 that is Luke Skywalker before episode 7, 8, and 9 kind of thing. So this is really big news and I'm genuinely excited for this novel. As much as I personally have never connected too much with the sequel trilogy, this book sounds really cool and I'm going to be checking it out as soon as it comes out. Star Wars Brotherhood, cover not final, written by Mike Shen. Release date is set for May 10th, 2022 and is available for pre-order now. Obi Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker must stem the tide of the raging Clone Wars and forge a new bond as Jedi Knights. The Clone Wars have begun. Battle lines are being drawn throughout the galaxy. With every world that joins the Separatists, the peace guarded by the Jedi Order is slipping through their fingers. After an explosion devastates Cato Nemoidia, the jewel of the Trade Federation, the Republic is blamed and the fragile neutrality of the planet is threatened. The Jedi dispatch Obi Wan Kenobi, one of the Order's most gifted diplomatic minds, to investigate the crime and maintain the balance that has become dangerously to shift. As Obi-Wan investigates with the help of a heroic Nemoidian guard, he finds himself working against the Separatists who hope to draw the planet to their conspiracy, and senses a sinister hand, one the likes of Asajj Ventress, in the mists that cloak the planet. Amid the brewing chaos, Anakin Skywalker rises to the rank of Jedi Knight. Despite the mandate that Obi-Wan travel alone and his former master's instance that he listen this time, Anakin's headstrong determination means nothing can stop him from crashing the party and bringing along a promising but conflicted youngling. Once a Padawan to Obi-Wan, Anakin finds himself on equal but uncertain footing with the man who raised him. The lingering friction between them increases, the danger for everyone around them. The two knights must learn a new way to work together. They must learn quickly to save Cato Nemoidia and its people from the fires of war. To overcome the threat that they face, they must grow beyond master and apprentice. They must stand together as brothers. Now, this is very interesting. I mean, honestly, I look forward to this even more. I love the Clone Wars, one of my favorite things in Star Wars. And this is a story that we haven't heard yet, because in episode 3, Obi-Wan and Anakin have that little chat when they land on Coruscant. And Obi-Wan has a little line that he says to Anakin about that business on Cato Nemoidia doesn't count. And we've never seen that story told in the Clone Wars TV show. So this book not only will bridge the gap between Attack of the Clones, the movie, and the Clone Wars animated series, which picks up a few months later, but it will also tell the story of Anakin Skywalker transitioning into the Jedi Knight status, which is also something we've never seen. It will also share the story as to how the Nemoidians may or may not become part of the Separatist alliance, because, of course, we know that the Nemoidians have quite strong ties to the Trade Federation, and of course Newt Gunray, who is considered by them to be an extremist. So it really gets into the politics of the Nemoidians in this story, and I really like that a lot, because it's been something that's been talked about, and it leads directly into the Clone Wars, bridges the gap between the movie and the animated show, and will also tell a story of Obi-Wan and Anakin transitioning from this father-son relationship that Anakin describes in the cantina in episode 2. He says, "You're the closest thing I have to a father," to Obi-Wan, whereas in episode 3, their relationship is more like a brotherhood. So it'll share the story as to how their relationship changes as well. So I'm really looking forward to this. Any fan of Obi Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, Star Wars: The Clone Wars will absolutely love this story. And of course, to see Asajj Ventress return in a novel like this, we all love Asajj Ventress and her epic finale in Dark Disciple, which was a novel that adapted unproduced Clone Wars episodes. That was a very different Asajj Ventress, where her character has changed through the course of the Clone Wars show. And this is going back to the start, going back to the very beginning. And this is probably when Asajj Ventress is first recruited by Darth Tyrannus, by Count Dooku, to be his apprentice. So it'll be very interesting to see if this book even has some interludes that may share a bit more details as to her story and all the flashbacks that we saw on the Clone Wars TV show, whether or not it'll dive into that. So this is going to be a very, very cool book. So I'm really happy about this one. All right, let's move on to the third one. Star Wars Stories of Jedi and Sith cover is not final. It is edited by Jennifer Hedel, and is written by various authors, including, sorry if I botched the names, Roseanne A. Brown, Sarwat Chadha, Delilah S. Dawson, Tessa Grayton, Michael Cogg, Sam Maggs, Michael Morecki, Alex Segura, Vera Strange, Karen Strong, and illustrations by Jake Bartok. So the synopsis reads, the battle between good and evil never ends. The brave Jedi, the devious Sith, these iconic heroes and villains embody the struggle between light and dark. that is at the very heart of Star Wars. In this exciting middle grade anthology, 10 acclaimed authors imagine all new tales for some of the saga's most popular characters, from Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, from Obi Wan Kenobi to Asajj Ventress, and beyond, complete with beautiful spot illustrations, epic standoffs, cunning plots, courageous action, and ruthless anger are all here in this showcase of the enduring power of one of the greatest movie sagas of all time. So this is kind of interesting. They did a book like this before, and it was a story. It was a short story collection, and it was written by various authors. It was called The Clone Wars Stories of Light and Dark, very much focused in on the Clone Wars. This one seems to be focused in on Jedi and Sith and the battle that rages between the light and the dark side. So if any of you guys did read The Clone Wars Stories of Light and Dark, this is basically the same thing. It's just focused in on the Jedi and Sith, and is a collection of short stories, illustrations included. It's slightly more for the younger readers. I never actually read The Clone Wars Tales of Light and Dark, haven't gotten around to it yet. I will eventually, but we'll see how this goes. Release date is set for June 7th, 2022, and you can pre-order it now. And the final book on the list is Star Wars Padawan, written by Kirsten White. Cover is not final. This book is set to release July 26th, 2022, and is available to pre-order now. And the synopsis reads, Obi Wan Kenobi struggles with his place in the Force as a young Padawan in this coming-of-age adventure. Obi Wan Kenobi really wants to be a good Padawan, the best Padawan even, but that's feeling more and more impossible with his new master Qui-Gon Jinn. All of Obi-Wan's friends are off training to be the real Jedi, getting mission experience while he's still on Coruscant practicing his forms and sitting in silent contemplation. Ever since Qui-Gon's former master Dooku left the Order, it feels like Qui-Gon has been too busy trying to connect with the Force or arguing with the Jedi Council to properly train his Padawan. When Obi-Wan finally convinces Qui-Gon to take him on a mission to a remote planet once explored by an ancient Jedi, his master doesn't show up on the morning they are to leave, so Obi-Wan impulsively takes off by himself. Upon arriving on the mysterious lush planet, he encounters a group of teenagers with no adult supervision, and who all seem to have some connection with the Force. Free from the constraints of the Order, Obi-Wan joins them in their daring adventures, but the Padawan side of him keeps questioning the teens' strange relationship to the Force and to the verdant planet around them, and what all of it might mean to his future. Obi-Wan will test the limits of his relationship to the Jedi and to the Force in this exciting yet soulful exploration of one of the Star Wars' most enduring heroes. So this is kind of cool. It's all about Obi-Wan. We have a book called Master and Apprentice, which is also about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in the younger years. Of course, that being probably set a little later down the timeline, maybe closer to the Phantom Menace, I would say. But this one might be cool. I really enjoyed the junior novels back in the day, the Jedi Apprentice series. That was a really long run. Written by Jude Watson, I believe. And this is might be on the similar style based on the synopsis. It seems to be geared at a slightly younger audience. But Star Wars Padawan could be pretty cool. It looks like it's opening up a whole new side of Obi-Wan that we've never seen before, which is kind of a rebellious, younger aged Obi-Wan. We got a hint of that in the Clone Wars when Satine, Duchess Satine that is, was talking about Obi-Wan in the past. So maybe we'll see that kind of side of Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan that Anakin would have gotten along with a lot better back in the day, kind of thing. So we'll see what happens there, and looking forward to for this to come out on July 26th next year. So we got so many cool books coming out next year to read as Star Wars fans, and I can't wait to take a look at all these things. And we may pick a few to talk about right here on the podcast, but that's all the time we have for today. So stay tuned, subscribe, share the show with your friends to Star Wars Escape Pod, and check out our full-length episodes for great in-depth chats all about Star Wars lore and discussions and debates and commentary tracks and everything. And feel free to let us know if you have any suggestions for content. May the Force be with you guys, and we'll see you next time on Star Wars Escape Pod.